have received today's agenda and last year's meeting minutes. So may I make a motion, may I ask for a motion to approve today's agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion, Gayla.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. And second?
I'll second.
Okay, great. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We say aye.
Aye.
So any opposition or any abstentions? Okay, so the motion has been carried. So may I also have a motion to approve the minutes from the February 6th, 2023 annual meeting as presented?
I'll make that motion, Gayla.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, and so all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposition or any abstentions? Okay, so that has been carried. So today this is the agenda as we've all seen, and we'll get going with, first of all, I'll go over the antitrust and no solicitation policy. So before we begin introductions, I would like to call attention to APOLAN's antitrust and no solicitation policy and legal disclaimer on your screen. So please take a moment to review them now. Okay. And this is our legal disclaimer on your screen here now. So just let everybody read through that. And then we shall continue. All right, so it's my pleasure today to highlight APOLAN's recent work and introduce key individuals that made it all happen in 2023. So last year, APOLAN refined and redefined our mission as part of a comprehensive strategic planning process I'll discuss in greater detail momentarily. APOLAN's updated mission is to accelerate the adoption and evolution of fiber optic local access networks for enterprises. Our vision is to be the leading global community for the fiber optic local access network industry and empower our members' success. We pursue these efforts with several core values: integrity, inclusiveness, expertise, leadership, and innovation. So on the next slide, you'll see our member logos and the different categories. So APOLAN's membership continues to grow. And this slide shows the current members helping to drive APOLAN's mission. I will let our membership committee chair provide additional details about membership efforts in his report. So leadership. We were very fortunate to have a great leadership group that has worked together to continue the evolution of APOLAN. My fellow board members include Alan Birch from Crypsis, who is unable to actually attend today, Jim Connor from Nokia, Brian Hardy from IT Connect, John Hoover from Tel Labs, Paul Winthrop from Superior Essex Communications, and Christopher Brown from AECOM. They each have made tireless advocates for APOLAN and our mission. I am honored to serve on the board alongside such talented, passionate professionals. Our management, our board, our work on the board is carried out by our professional staff. Since October 2021, APOLAN has retained the association expertise of Forius Association Management Services. Our staff has been instrumental in helping us incorporate association best practices and carrying out the day-to-day work necessary to ensure APOLAN's success. Thank you to our Executive Director, Brianne Scott, Administrative Coordinator, Melissa Thomas, and FAM's President and Chief Operating Officer, Tony Newberg. Tony is retiring on May 1st, but she's leaving our association in good hands. We are grateful for her work for APOLAN over the last 2 years and wish her all the best in retirement. Thank you so much, Tony. So, our committees. The work of APOLAN would not have happened without the work of the volunteers who make up the various committees. I would like to thank the following individuals who have chaired APOLAN committees. Alan Birch, the chair of our membership committee, Chad Hines, chair of our technology committee, John Hoover, chair of our marketing committee, Stefan Heldens, chair of our European committee, and Emma Fernandez, chair of our newest committee, the Caribbean and Latin American Committee. We will hear from each of them shortly when they give committee updates. So, achievements for 2023. 2023 was a busy and productive year. Our largest initiative, which I alluded to earlier, was the development of a new strategic plan, mission, vision, and core values, which I went over. This intensive process helped the board reflect and focus on who we are as an association and where we want to go and what it will take to get us there. Out of this process, we developed a roadmap that will guide all of APOLAN's activities for the next several years. Our work will focus on achieving 5 goals. 1 is the expanding of our membership base and the value we give to our members. 2, educating and supporting the optical LAN community. 3, raising public awareness of optical LAN. 4, ensuring financial stability. And last but not least, building and maintaining robust operations and governance of our association. Our incoming chair, John Hoover, will discuss some of our immediate objectives shortly when he provides a look at our plans for 2024. APOLAN presented 6 webinars in 2023. Among these educational events were our first American Institute of Architects, AIA, certified webinar, and a fundamentals webinar focused entirely in Spanish. The Technology Committee Chair, Chad Hines, and the CALA Committee Chair, Emma Fernandez, will provide further updates in their committee reports. APOLAN developed 3 projects touting the sustainability benefits of optical LAN. The ICT Today published our article highlighting how optical LANs can support sustainability in the digital era. One of our webinars focused on optical LAN's role in smart buildings and the Internet of Things, and we released a white paper, Optical LAN Advances Smart Building, Internet of Things, Scalability, Security, and Sustainability. These are just a few of our high-level accomplishments for 2023. So next we'll have the APOLAN committee chairs will now provide you with their updates and on the great work they have been doing. To begin, please welcome Chad Hines, the chair of our technology committee.
Yes, great. Thank you, Gayla. So with the Technology Committee, we assist the Board of Directors of APOLAN in fulfilling its responsibilities to provide both public and members with technical analysis and data supporting APOLAN's mission of education and advocacy of the optical LAN marketplace. Committee also serves in supporting role to those activities conducted by the association's marketing committee. Our member list is currently at 13, including Brian Hardy, who's our board liaison. Our member list did change a bit this year. We've lost and then gained a couple, starting with myself and then Mariana Balin with Fujikura, Lonnie Barrington with DZS, Robert Basile with Corning, our newest member, Anna Cruz with Belden, Joe Cook with Optical Cable Corp, Chris Ennis, Nokia, Brian Hardy with IT Connect, Jerry Hogan with Solara, Scott McIsaacs, Dell Labs, Matt Miller, AECom, Blaine Overstreet with AECom as well, and then Ron Tellis with Belden. We had a busy year this year with webinars. We previously mentioned in our last annual meeting, we had our fiber to mixed use complexes. That was in August. We ended our year with our second committee webinar, which was our optical LAN FAQ. This was in the early mid part of December. We actually had a lot of people registered for this class, not as many people in attendance, but it was
Looks like Chad is frozen. Brian, can you fill in for Chad? Sure. I'll fill in a little bit here. So as Chad was mentioning, he was talking about the different updates that that we've done. One of the highlights that Gayla mentioned was the 2023 AIA virtual webinar. That was a pretty significant event for us. It's the first time that we kind of performed a sanctioned webinar outside of Bixby. So we did that on November 9th. Let's see what's on the next slide here.
Yeah, sorry, Brian. I'm back on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're back. Take it
Sorry,
over.
I lost my computer connection, everybody, but thank God for telephone. So yes, as Brian mentioned, we ended our 2023 year busy with webinars. And then we're gonna hope to continue that in 2024. So we have currently our first webinar looking to do in early April for optical LAN connectivity to anything, anywhere. This was brought on with a lot of different conversation to include some Wi-Fi 7, some other high bandwidth capability devices, basically saying optical LAN connects anything and anywhere, right? So we don't have a lot of detail on this one yet. We hope to put that together within the next month so we can start marketing that. We do also currently have our first AIA virtual training. I believe it's scheduled. I couldn't find the exact date of this. This is going to be a collaboration piece with another member. And this will be another virtual meeting. I believe our other member will be on site, but this will be a good one. AIA looks to be a busy one. I don't believe we are the only ones doing a virtual or on-site training this year. So it's good to see this going somewhere in terms of this AIA membership. Hopefully we can put together some additional trainings this year. That'll definitely be one of our focuses as a technology committee. We ended our year, or I guess I should say we started our year here in the first part of February with our Bixby Master class. This went really well. I believe we decided to separate our previous single class, which was a 2-day class, our fundamentals of passive optical LAN. The technology committee shortened this into a single training course, which we did on Sunday. And then we developed a second training course called Optical LAN Implementation and Use Cases. This was a half-day course we did on Monday. The overall goal was basically to gain additional attendance to people who come to Bixie later to typically attend our Sunday, Monday course that was previously taught. You essentially had to come out to Bixie on a Saturday. Our attendance in these classes was a bit dwindling, so we decided to develop a second course to be taught on Monday to allow people coming in on the Sunday to register for a half-day course. The idea was to get in front of more people, and I believe we were successful. Essentially, we had 28 in attendance on Sunday and then an additional 18 on Monday. Our previous classes, we were seeing, anywhere from 24 to probably the low 30s in attendance at all of our Bixie classes. We did have some repeat people between our two courses at our Bixie winter. Overall, I believe we were able to get in front of roughly 40 people. So we reached our goal to get in front of more people. We developed the course in the later part of the year, so we didn't get a lot of chance to market the second class. I believe going into the next Bixie Fall Conference, we will be a bit more successful having the two classes already established. This was presented also by Matt Miller with AECOM, myself, Chris Ennis with Nokia, and Scott McIsaacs with Telab. So much appreciated for the volunteer and support to do these 2-day courses. It takes a lot to get out there and be a part of this. So thank you, everyone. One of the really good things I'm really happy and excited for is we created a digital certificate, a badge, as well as a certificate for attending these courses. This was developed very late, and thank you so much to everybody who really put in the work to put this together. And I swear the last 2 weeks before the Bixie conference, we were very much successful. So what we did is we handed out a card essentially to the attendees in our classes. They put down their information, and then we issued a digital badge and a certificate to be linked to their LinkedIn accounts. Very much successful. If you haven't seen them on people's LinkedIn's posted, you're most likely to. I myself have seen a couple of them already. The greatest part about this is people are commenting on them. They're clicking these certificates. They're going to the web page, and we are getting a lot out of it. I believe if we're not getting much out of it in this first month, it will continue. So far we were able to get some statistics thanks to Brianne. 32 certificates were issued. 13 have been opened. Out of those, 11 perceived us as an outstanding credential issuer with a highly professional out approach. So that's great news. 7 people discovered APOLAN by opening the credential recipients that were shared. So if we take our 40 that were actually in the class, we could basically just start adding these numbers up due to these digital badges and certificates. So as a technology committee and myself, I'm super excited about being able to do something like this. Discussion after these training courses and at Bixie with some other individuals is possibly going to grow this even further. We hope to record some of these courses, put them on the website maybe, and issue out more certificates for people coming and viewing these on the website to gain further outreach. So great assistance from everybody, and really excited about this digital badge and certificate. As I mentioned, we had our newest member that got voted on at our last meeting. This is Anna Cruz with Belden. She's the R&D manager for fiber and connectivity. So glad to get some extra support and help in the technology committee. Thank you, everybody, and that was my update.
Thank you, Chad. Now coming to the update for the European Committee. So my name is Stefan Heldens. I'm chair for the European Committee working for Nokia. And I'll give you a quick overview of our activities in 2023. So in the European Committee, we have members from Nokia, Corning, AECOM, K-Labs, DIRT, and Dasanzo, or DZS. And we have these monthly committee meetings. The activities of the European Committee is spanning a bit let's say, all the other membership, all the other committee activities, but then particularly focused on the European region there. So when we are doing things, it's always in cooperation with either the technical committee or the marketing committee, the membership committee that is there. So it's important that you take that on board. So in 2023, we specifically had for the European markets, we had a discussion on regulatory requirements. As some of you might know, in the European Committee, we have the launch of NIS2. So that is a European regulation that goes into cybersecurity, and we think that with optical LAN we can bring additional benefits in terms of security to our partners and our customers. And as such, NIS2 will, I think, in the European region, will be an important regulation that is going to find implementation by October 2024, so this year. And as such, enterprises that are considered critical and important will have to adhere to that regulation. So for us as a European Committee, it's then also important to kind of assess what the impact could be, how we correspond to that, and what type of communication we can bring to our potential partners and customers. That also involves a typical activity that we have in our European Committee is sharing about regional and country-specific requirements. In such a sense, we also kind of adopted the Division 27 document to European-based requirements. A third point there mentioned there is also that we are discussing in the European Committee what certain market trends or technological developments are implying for the rollout of optical LAN networks inside of the European let's say region. You will have the introduction of Wi-Fi 7 is already happening today and will be accelerated, I believe, in 2024. The demand for increased bandwidth obviously is something that sparks the interest for optical LAN networks. As such, also we see the launch of FTTR and so fiber to the room solutions, but inside of fiber to the room you have also fiber to the room for businesses. So that is also sometimes positioned as an optical LAN solution or a small optical LAN solution that is for small business, positioned towards small businesses. As such, it's there also good to see how we position there our solution in towards these trends. Also the need for bandwidth and the new technologies that are coming there, which markets could be more susceptible for technologies like XGS, and in future, let's say the 25 and 50 XPON technologies. So they're a bit taking a bit the implementation of what also is discussed in the technology committees and bringing that to the European room, and also vice versa, informing the technology committee on the developments that we see from this region. In terms of white papers, we have been working on a mission critical white paper, which is in process, because a large part of our customer or partner base is focusing towards these mission critical deployments. And then we're talking about deployments in the segments of airports or transportation, but also healthcare, hospitals. So where let's say availability and robustness and redundancy generate additional requirements for our optical LAN networks. Another white paper that was also driven on the in the let's say by K-Labs, or under the incentive of K-Labs, was positioning optical LAN in, let's say, brownfield deployments. If you're going to deploy an optical LAN, often we are thinking about new builds and greenfield deployments. Well, in brownfield, there you want to maybe recycle some of the existing infrastructure. And as such, it is good to have a look at these scenarios of brownfield deployments, where we either work with converters, MMF, so multi-mode fiber to single mode fiber, but also what the impact is on the active equipment that is there. Support the webinars. We have done webinars with Bixi. Some of them were in French. We have an upcoming webinar also in Bixi for end of March, I believe. And there we also giving there the support. We also have been supporting the global markets reports, and there adding references and examples from the European context into that webinar. It's always good to give real life examples and references and making it more tangible for our members to see what is going on also outside of let's say the American markets, and giving that global perspective. That's what we try to add there to the equation. So on events, yeah, we synchronize between our European members on which events are ongoing in our region. An example for that, for instance, was FTTH Council in Madrid, where we also made sure or influenced several, let's say, presenters to include APOLAN into their master classes and into the presentations that were given there. We see more and more also interest from that side to also take a look in these FTTH Council events to what is there for enterprises. So that is an ongoing activity that we will have also for 2024 to go deeper into that. And then the last point is that obviously in terms of acquiring and new members, we also try to play a role specifically then for the European region to identify potential new members, and also kind of propose to members and do the initial let's say introduction of APOLAN to potential new members, and identify candidates to the membership committee and work together then with the membership committee. Was a quick overview of the activities of the European Committee.
Thank you, Stefan. Good information there. My name is Brian Hardy. I am not the committee chair for the membership committee. I'm actually sitting in for Alan Birch, who is the committee chair. But on behalf of him, we would like to welcome everybody to this seminar. So the membership committee is comprised of not quite as many folks as in the technology committee or even the European committee. So we're looking and soliciting help from our membership to, if you're interested in joining this exciting team, please submit your name so that we can add you on. Right now, we have Alan Birch, who's the chair from Quipsys. We have Stefan, we just heard from him from Nokia, Marcia Mark from Tellabs, and Paul Mills from Dirt. Sorry about that. The purpose of the committee, that's okay, we can move on. Okay, okay, let's see. Let's stay here for a second. The purpose of our committee is to assist the board of directors in fulfilling its responsibility to recruit and retain new members into the association. So that's a pretty important thing because we want to actually do things to show value. You're going to see a theme throughout all of our presentations. We're trying to increase the value. And then for our members that are there, what makes them want to stay within our association? So some of the highlights from 2023, we had a formal onboarding process for our new members. Well, we wanted to make sure that we were able to, when new members were brought on, to have that kind of warm and fuzzy welcome into the association and provide them with whatever information is necessary to make them successful in their endeavors. We did active recruitment and retention events. So we went after organizations that showed interest in our association, and then tried to do some types of retention for our existing members. We expanded members. Well, we started our expansion of members into other markets. So that's where we have our CALA. We're looking at APAC and MENA markets to expand, utilizing some of our existing member companies as well as recruiting new companies. We did industry association alignment. So we looked at other industries that were out there to see how we could align in partnership with them. Then we started evaluating some membership recognition programs. So wanted to see how can we recognize our existing members and get them a little bit, a little bit more publicity. So in 2024, what we're going to focus on is kind of an enhancement of that membership recognition program. What we're going to do there is I think we're going to start looking at some things like some additional digital badges in addition to the technology ones of just, hey, you're a member company. These are some of the important things that are important to APOLAN. We're going to do some continuous improvements, which we've been doing over the past several years, of looking at the benefits of being an APOLAN member. What are your benefits, what you can do, and kind of how we can enhance those. Stakeholder engagement research. So again, looking at how we can bring more of these benefits and value to our stakeholders, and that is in alignment with our recruitment and more retention. So we want to make sure we bring even more members in 2024. So speaking of that, in 2023, we actually did have a pretty good uptick in our new members. I'd like to welcome them if we haven't done that already. It's a wide range. We have architects and engineering, we have distributors for new members in 2023. And then we had some more that started joining after, I think that was prior to August. And then after August, we had even more that joined. And we would like to welcome all of our new members there. Again, across the board, we have manufacturers, we have universities, we have people joining at different levels within the organization, gold, silver, platinum. And then in 2024, we've actually had even more new members. So we're only in February, and we've had a couple of new members that joined in 2024. So let me welcome BFW and AMT. So we have a new platinum member, a new gold member. So with all of these wonderful new additions to our family, we're going to be looking for representatives from each of your company to help us out on all of the committees. But I'm specifically speaking in this instance for our membership committee. So please submit your names of folks in your corporations that can help us out to further achieve these goals. And with that, we will turn it over to Mr. John Hoover.
Thank you, Brian. And let's just jump right into the marketing successes for 2023. So we got a fantastic team on the marketing committee. Not going to go through the names. We got Corning, we got Quipsys, we got DZS, Alpha, I should say, Intersys, Nokia, OCC, Dirt, Uber Data, Panduit, Solera, Belden. And you know who that is? Those are the leaders of passive optical LAN in this industry today. So thank you all for your amazing contributions to all of our work that we do. And through all those volunteers, what we've done is, first, let's talk about communications. So very busy year. You can see that there's probably likely more than one a month going out representing successes for this organization. And we're going to keep that cadence up in 2024. So sometimes these can represent your own successes, your own company successes. So think about how you can get involved in here and think about how you can weave in your company's successes into the greater industry successes of optical LAN. And then on the content and articles and blogs, we've had some really good successes writing and getting things published. We got out the Bizzeria Global Study earlier in the year. Bizzeria is the only research company that has been tracking this technology over the past decade, and we really appreciate their involvement. We've done a study about every 2 years, and the last study that got published in 2023 once again showcased some fantastic growth for optical LAN globally. You'll see us repeat those types of studies in the future as well. We have friends over at Cable Installation and Maintenance magazines. They've done a great job tracking us through the years, and they did a nice article on us featuring our 10-year anniversary in 2023, and we appreciate all the coverage we get from them. Also, we had a very critical paper published by Bixby ICT Today covering sustainability. Speaking to the benefits of fiber optics in enterprise and how it is more sustainable than, let's say, structured cabling, traditional network. That's a very important topic to hit and to take into Bixby and other associations. And I'm really proud of what this organization did to get that published in Bixby ICT Today. And then, we have our own content as well, and we've done some updates on our white papers, and there's lots of great work that can be done there. So think about how you can volunteer there, get your company involved, and get that type of publicity through being an author of these types of papers and articles. You've already heard from all the other committees and the great work they're doing in webinars. And actually, there's a few that the marketing committee takes the lead on. The marketing committee likes to take the lead on the business topics, the value prop, and we'll let the technology committee take the more technical, detailed webinars. That said, we have done some good ones. We covered the Bizzeria Global Study along with Martin Chesia early in the year. And then we also did a smart building and IoT and how optical LANs help with the density and capacity needed to support these smart buildings. So, the other thing I want to point out is I love what the technology committee is doing with the AIA credentials. And you've heard that we've realigned the personas we're pursuing. We're actually pursuing the architects, engineers, design build community, the owners and operators. And the AIA accredited webinars and seminars is a great way to get in front of those folks. So think about how you can leverage that and how your company can leverage that as well in 2024. Last, we want to build our online community in social. Through our social channels. We're active in YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, mainly LinkedIn as a fantastic B2B social media channel. And then look at our website. This is really a portal for the member companies. And this is also where you'll see us do a quarterly request for white papers and case studies that we can publish up on our website and promote them as well. So think about what you can offer up and what your companies can offer up and we can link them from the APOLAN website. And once again, amplify your own good work that you're doing on behalf of APOLAN and on behalf of the technology optical LAN. So if I didn't already, thank you, big thanks to all of our marketing committee volunteers. And with that, I'll turn it over to the next committee update.
Hello, my name is Emma Fernandez. I will talk about our CALA committee. We started our committee with 5 members in mid-2023 in the BITSI Forum in Mexico. And we grew faster to have today 11 members from different companies. You can see there that it is a very good mix of companies that are passive and active equipment distributor, implementation company, integration companies, and also the vendors. We, as the CALA committee in 2023, did several activities, starting with the participation of the event of BITSI in Costa Rica, where we have a slot to talk about POL and APOLAN to try to recruit new members. Also, we went to the FBA Mexico event where we deliver membership template to the assistant and try to get new members. For the CALA committee, we had ITERA and UTN of Buenos Aires, new members. And also, we did the first ever APOLAN POL webinar in Spanish. That is a very important point in this CALA committee. We developed the content and we had 3 of our members working on that webinar. Where we have 48 registered, 17 attendees, and 81 views after the recording. We can see in the next slide the part of that webinar, and you can see the recording of that webinar in the APOLAN webpage. We had, I want to thank Gustavo Moriz and Pedro for being part of this important event. And we have in mind to, we are planning to do webinars, one each Q in 2024. And also assist to the event for BITSI ICT Mexico and Colombia. There are 2 events that we will have this 2024. Again, go to the FBA event and promote with the assistant the membership in APOLAN. Continue our effort to recruit new members. through our social networks. Provide information to our membership in our members in the meetings about the market and how we can increment the new members and how we can also increment the knowledge of Paul. This is my resume for the CALA committee, and we thanks to APOLAN to give us the opportunity to talk in Spanish about Paul.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. All right, now we're gonna go into our financial update. Again, Alan Birch is our treasurer, so I'm kind of stepping in for him. He knew that I'd do a great job of making numbers sound interesting, I guess. So let's take a look at our last year's year-end report. So in 2023, we had a total revenue of a little over 83,000, and our total expenses were a little over 116,000 with a $32,000 net loss. So a couple things to understand about this is that APOLAN is on a cash-based financial recording as opposed to accrual. So what does that mean? It means that if I invoice you in December and you pay in December, but the invoice was for the following year, when the money comes in, that's when it's recorded. So that's one thing to note. Second thing to note is that we had a couple of other expenses in 2023. We had several actually. 2023 marked our 10-year anniversary. So we had some expenditures on rebranding. And then also, as Galen mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, that we had a strategic initiative planning session. We hired some consultants to come in and talk about, again, increasing the value, where we're going to position APOLAN for the next X number of years. So that was an additional expenditure outside of the norm for our 2023. That brought our total liabilities and equity to around $62,000 still for our kind of retained earnings, if you will. In 2024, our budget, which is approved by the board, showed a total revenue of around 86,000, total expenses around 97,000. So this is why we're trying to still actively recruit new members to come on board. So we're really excited about that. And then we want to keep the members that we have however we can. So if you have any ideas or anything like that, talk to these different committee chairs about your participation, about what APOLAN can do for you. And I think that's about it for our financial report. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Paul Weintraub. I'm the secretary of the board, and I have the honor and privilege of presenting the awards. So, when we look at the awards, this is the fun part to get to recognize, because our members do a lot to drive APOLAN's mission and really, give them some recognition. The members, they can submit their nominations for the awards. And as was mentioned earlier, we refined our awards program, have multiple awards categories, including education, excellence, innovation, and international. We have an industry award, we have a champion award, and in 2024, we're going to bring 2 chair awards, contributor and legacy. These awards, were all selected by a task force of members. I had the privilege of sitting in on that task force from the committee and, from different committees. So it was great to collaborate and review all the submissions and determine the winners of the industry awards. Now, here's a little bit about each one of the winners. So let's start with the first one with the Education Award. The Education Award recognizes the APOLAN member companies that have implemented initiatives to contribute to the educational promotion of optical land and its benefits. The 2023 winner goes to Tel Labs for the Optical LAN Network Planning and Design class. Tel Labs offers this 3-day course for free, and it is designed for network engineers who are or will be responsible for designing and planning networks for optical LAN. The curriculum is appropriate for network architects, design consultants, and other technical staff. And this is what I really like about this award is, you know, many of us that are part of APOLAN are also BICSI credential holders. So if there are any BICSI credential holders in the audience, you can get 14 BICSI continuing education credits upon successful completion. The next award, the Excellence Award. It's a prestigious award for an APOLAN member company whose teams or individuals have demonstrated exceptional skill and dedication in integrating various aspects of optical LAN network on a project. It recognizes effective coordination, different teams, efficient problem solving, and top-notch execution of project plans that lead the successful installation of optical LAN projects. 2023 winners are a combination of companies, Corning, DIRT, and Kipsis for the optical LAN installation at the Rock Hill manufacturing plant. This partnership resulted in a future-ready, cost-effective, and streamlined installation while meeting the client's need for scalability, flexibility, reliability, and minimal downtime. Results included a 60% reduction in obsolescence risk, a 50% quicker installation time, and a 30% CapEx savings. Congratulations to the winners of the Excellence Award. Next up, we have the Innovation Award. This award recognizes APOLAN member companies that have promoted innovative achievements to meet the industry's challenges. It's open to all of our member companies. And this year, 2023 award goes to Tel Labs for their optical LAN carbon reduction calculator. It is the industry's first passive optical LAN tool to aid IT and network professionals, architects, and engineers by approximating the embodied and operational carbon savings. The carbon calculator does this by modeling fiber-based optical LAN and equivalent traditional copper-based switch networks designed to assess each network's environmental footprint using publicly available carbon data, namely the EPA's e-grid factors and critically reviewed environmental product declarations, or EPDs. And we are going to see a lot more on sustainability in the future. The next award. We want to recognize APOLAN member companies internationally that have contributed to the education and promotion of optical LAN and its benefits. And this individual in this company, Miguel Angel Ochoa, has really been like a spark in CALA. So it goes to ITERA for Miguel Angel Ochoa's contributions to the industry. He's been a real driving force for the international expansion and recognition of APOLAN and optical LAN technologies. His contributions and achievements include being a key figure in the formation of APOLAN's Caribbean and Latin American Committee, serving as the CALA Committee's vice chair, and publicizing APOLAN and optical LAN technologies through the establishment of multiple collaboration agreements for events in Latin America, exhibition presence, and information dissemination, and educating and promoting optical LAN. And I know he's on fire because he was on a call with me earlier today with a member in the MENA region, trying to see what we can do to spark some growth over there. So congratulations, ITERA and Miguel Angel Ochoa. Champion Award is for nominated individuals who have raised awareness and increased the visibility of optical LAN and its benefits. It's open to anyone. The 2023 award goes to Ron Velez. Ron has been a consistent champion of optical LAN and initially deployed passive optical network technology at White Plains schools under the guidance of one of APOLAN's founding members, IBM. Over years, Ron has made himself available for videos, webinars, and case studies, all promoting the merits of optical LAN. Congratulations to all of the winners. Then thank you for all your efforts to continue promoting APOLAN. So again, here's a review. Education, Tell Labs for the optical LAN network planning and design class. Excellence to Corning, Dirt, and Kipsis for the Rock Hill manufacturing plant. Tell Labs for their optical LAN carbon reduction calculator. And ITERA for Miguel Angel Ochoa's contributions, and the industry award to Ron Champion to Ron Velez, Director of Technology, retired and independent consultant. Thank you all.
I think it's my turn. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy and excited to be back speaking with APOLAN. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the APOLAN organization and its board of directors for this award, along with thanking my wife, my kids, and the entire team at the White Plains School District for always being supportive. I recently retired after 30 years in education and the last 15 years as Director of Technology at White Plains School District in New York. It all started in 2012 when I presented to the White Plains Board of Education a bold proposal to redesign the entire local and wide area networks of the school district. While it was very ambitious, we were fortunate to have a very supportive Board of Education and superintendent that understood the future of education would be heavily reliant on technology. We were fortunate to be provided with funding resources through our local capital construction funds, New York State Smart Schools funds, and federal E-rate funds to implement the entire networking project. As we were getting assistance from our IBM consultants on the design of our new network, we asked what seemed like an innocent question. What new options are out there for local area network designs? Lo and behold, they said, funny that you asked. You may want to take a look at GPON. So we learned, we visited, we scrutinized, questioned, tested, asked a whole lot of questions, and we decided we wanted to be on the cutting edge and save some money. And we decided to move forward with a GPON network design, and we started the project in the fall of 2014. Very soon after we started installing our GPON network, my office was receiving a lot of requests for more information. People wanted to know what exactly was this thing called GPON. We got media requests and visitation requests from other districts and companies. Some highlights during that time included doing a webinar for APOLAN back in 2015, writing an article for Campus Technology Magazine. We had some case studies written by IBM and Tell Labs. We had a marketing video on GPON created by IBM. I served as a speaker at some conferences here in New York and in Texas. We hosted multiple visitations for colleges and other school districts. And we had a conference call with a team from LaGuardia Airport that ultimately chose to use GPON and OLAN as part of their multi-billion-dollar renovation. And if you have not flown into the new LaGuardia Airport, it is outstanding. We even had a full research paper written about our GPON network conducted by the IBM Watson Institute. And the lead scientist assigned to the research paper turned out to be a parent in our school district and was so proud to see his tax dollars going towards a cutting-edge network infrastructure project that his kids would actually benefit from. The school district went on to win a silver award for its GPON network design from the American Council of Engineering Companies of New York in April 2018. It has been really humbling to continue to be recognized for all the work that went into the design and implementation of the GPON network at White Plains Schools almost a decade ago. All of that hard work really paid off during that pandemic. Our school district, like so many others around the country, had to pivot to variations of full remote learning, hybrid learning, and everything else in between starting in the spring of 2020. I always thought education would shift to some sort of remote learning style learning, but never envisioned it to happen the way it did. Our teachers were teaching students in their classroom simultaneously as teaching students at home, and everyone using their devices, sometimes more than one, all at the same exact time. We were as successful as we could be, due in part because of our GPON network infrastructure. Our network was not an impediment to remote or hybrid learning, like so many of our neighboring districts had to deal with. Our GPON network operated as we envisioned, with security, reliability, speed, managed and adjusted on the fly. We had no downtime during the pandemic years, and the incredible amount of data and video being pushed through the GPON network during this time was truly a work of art of science and engineering. With our tech staff often being home under COVID quarantine, the tech team could still manage the entire GPON network from the comfort of their home. We had very little need to physically touch any of the GPON equipment, which was such a critical component of our network management during this extremely stressful time of the pandemic. Moving forward, White Plains Schools has started to update its GPON network, and we have one school almost completed as a pilot for our new Tellabs 5-port ONTs, which support Ethernet connectivity over 10 gigabit with the multi-rate options of 1 gig, 2.5 gig, 5 gig, and 10 gig Ethernet speeds. We would like to think we had some influence over the new 5-port ONTs. We had been advocating, actually begging, if such an ONT could be created, so we could allocate additional bandwidth and power requirements to our new wireless access points to accommodate the latest standards of Wi-Fi 6 and eventually Wi-Fi 7. White Plains School District is also building a new 50,000 square foot smart green addition to its high school, and will be designing that addition using the GPON network technology as well. Again, I am so thankful for the recognition through this award. I will continue to advocate for GPON and OLAN technology and have appreciated being associated with APOLAN for all these years. And please always feel free to reach out with any questions, ideas, or if you just want to say hello, as I have a lot more free time on my hands with my retirement. Again, thank you so much for this recognition.
Did we lose Gayla?
I was wondering who was next. Okay. Okay. So the APOLAN, so thank you very much, Ron. That was great, and good luck on your retirement. That's something I think all of us are looking forward to. So hopefully you enjoy your retirement. So the APOLAN board election results, we had our elections just this week, actually. So the APOLAN bylaws state that the board of directors shall consist of no less than 3 and no more than 11 directors. The number is determined by the sitting board members and is currently set at 7. Each founding member in good standing has the right to elect a director to represent their company. The founding members are currently Corning and Tellabs. The remaining seats are elected from the platinum members who were nominated and in good standing. The directors serve for a 2-year staggered terms. For 2024, there were 2 board of directors seats open for election. A call for nominations was sent out to the entire membership, and the vote occurred during the board meeting on February 6th. I am pleased to announce the following individuals have been elected to serve on the APOLAN board of directors for the next 2 years. Christopher Brown from AECOM, welcome back, and Jim Connor from Nokia. In addition to these 2 directors, I will be joined by continuing board members Brian Hardy, Alan Birch, Paul Winthrop, and John Hoover. The 2024 board of directors has also chose to elect its chair-elect, treasurer, and secretary during our meeting on Tuesday. I am pleased to announce our new chair-elect is Paul Winthrop, our treasurer is Chris Brown, and secretary is Jim Connor. Congratulating to our new and returning board members and officers. So my part in this meeting is complete. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve as the chair for this past year. And it is my pleasure to turn the meeting over now to John Hoover, your 2024 board chair.
Thank you, Gayla. And first, let me thank you for 12 months of hard lifting and all your dedication to the technology. It's certainly been appreciated. And it was apropos that you were the chair for 2023 because you were there when all this got started in 2013, over 10 years ago. So thank you for not only the past year, but a decade of work supporting this technology.
Thank you.
Okay, so the other thing I want, and then the next, I want to, Ron, fantastic presentation. That was enjoyed. My favorite part of your presentation was that the story about the IBM engineer writing the technology piece as part of the Watson lab, and that he was a parent at the White Plains School District. That was perfect. I love the fact that he and his family and his kids got to reap the benefits of a fiber-based network in the K through 12 schools. And then the other person I want to do a shout out for is I want to do a shout out to Amar of High Tech No Fall. He is our latest member of the marketing committee, and I was going too fast and didn't mention him. He's been a great contributor to the marketing committee. He also is a contributor to the European committee, and he's going to be a great help in us as we try to build out our MENA work. So thank you, Omar. Next, now let me get into 2024. And the first thing I really want to call out is how the optical LAN dialogue is integral today to all of the hottest topics in IT and networking. And I truly want to call your attention to our logo. And at the bottom of the logo, you're going to see scalable, you're going to see secure, and you're going to see sustainable. Those are the hot topics that I'm talking about. So from a scalability standpoint, this technology impacts the density and capacity needed for smart buildings and IoT. Also, Wi-Fi, you heard Ron speak about it, you heard others speak about it. Right now we're working on how do we handle Wi-Fi 6, and Wi-Fi 7 is coming right at us. Well, the best thing you can do is have a fiber-based network in your buildings and across your campus. Staying on scalability, the innovations with powering. There's been some great advancements with Class 2, but even better yet, we now have Class 4 powering coming on board. And that, for once, truly unleashes optical LANs. Optical LANs can go 10 miles. They can go 12 miles more, but powering couldn't. Now we're talking about powering solutions that can be done over hybrid fiber optic cabling that can go out a mile. This is just really cool technology that's coming on board. Security, top of mind with all of the IT pros out there. When hacks happen, really bad things happen, and we have to lock down the physical infrastructure. So fiber optic cabling is inherently more secure than copper. And then with the optical LAN systems in place, we can remove known points of vulnerability. And these are places where bad actors can get in and hack a network. Next, sustainability. You heard Paul Weintraub say this is going to be a top of mind in 2024, and he's correct. So you have all the IT pros and networking pros, and even the COOs and the CFOs dealing with ESG requirements. And now we know that optical LANs can contribute to lowering embodied carbon and operational carbon of enterprises. So we are there right in this dialogue, and we're going to drive it going into 2024. So the other things that our organization is working on, and like Gayla highlighted in our 2023 accomplishments, you've already learned about how optical LAN activities will be guided based on the goals set forth in our new strategic plan. Having this plan in place ensures that we will remain focused and committed to moving forward in a calculated, decisive manner. And following Our goals we will begin working to accomplish this year. And during that strategic planning session, key stakeholders were identified and prioritized, completely different than what we've done in the past. We kind of turned the personas upside down. And now we're going to be focused on the owners and operators and architects and designers and the the design and build community. This is a push-pull strategy. Over the years, we've been kind of pushing. We've been pushing into organizations like Bixby and TIA, making sure that the installer and the integrators and the channels all know how to implement this technology. Well, now it's time for us to get ahead. It's time to reach the architects and engineers with our AIA accredited programs. So we can start pooling this technology through, get it spec'd into a building from day one, teach architects and engineers how they can eliminate telecommunication rooms and turn that space over to revenue generating purposes, or just authentic, building aesthetics. So next, we're going to do our engagement efforts, and we're going to be reviewing our membership options to determine if there are needs to expand offerings, refine educational tools to aid in our mission, to accelerate optical LAN adoption. Last but not least, how can we provide APOLAN members increased exposure and access to these key audiences, like the architects and engineers, owners, and operators? As we seek ways to expand our voice and reach, APOLAN will form Global Positioning Task Force. This is great for the APAC folks, the MENA folks, the European folks, and the CALA folks, to assess our international efforts. With the success of the European Committee, Stefan's done a fantastic job under Nokia's leadership, and we're going to grow that and keep that momentum going. And our newly formed Caribbean and Latin American Committee, I love their enthusiasm. I love their passion. And we need to bring that same enthusiasm and passion into MENA and APAC and around the world as well. It is vital that we align our global members and determine best ways to enter new regions. We will be organizing a group of leaders to represent various regions, including Middle East and Asia Pac, to provide insight into their markets and ways to best support optical LAN growth worldwide. Next, we will form a committee focused on leadership and professional development in this industry. The full scope of their work is not fully defined, but initially they will be focused on making recommendations and plans to expand digital recognition to include APOLAN trainers, presenters, and volunteers. You heard from Chad, you heard from the technology committee, all the great digital credentials that they're providing, and that will be expanding on that success. Finally, we have already begun and will continue to evaluate management of our resources, both financially and volunteers. Some of the tactics to achieve these goals are to form a financial task force to assist with the assessment of fiscal matters, the evaluation of governance structure, including the board makeup itself, down to the project-based volunteer options, and streamlining this internal process by clearing defined roles and guidelines and objectives to empower all the volunteers. It's all about you, okay? It's about our member companies and our deep pool of subject matter experts that it's just wonderful to tap into. Optical LAN and APOLAN is a means to tap into unique differentiators for you and your company. By getting involved with APOLAN, you can be a thought leader, global thought leader, and advance your career and grow your company into new services, new markets, new regions, new verticals. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm honored to be your chair in 2024 and look forward to working with all of you and all of your companies to get all of this done. So with that, let's move on and see if we have any questions that we can address. And not just questions, but ideas and suggestions as to how we can be most effective in 2024. And you have the Q&A in your Zoom banner. Feel free to type something in there. Just give you some moments to type. Brianne, I assume we can't take people off of mute.
Let me see. We can, and we will do that. If you give us just one moment here.
Hey, John, I saw one question come across about the Middle East. Would you like me to answer that?
Please do, Paul.
Okay, so Mr. Ashraf, we have some plans to engage with all of our membership companies in the Middle East from the list of our membership to do the formation of a committee. I know from the membership committee, Omar with High Tech No Fall was mentioned. So I would suggest if you want to reach out directly with Omar. So our plans are to look at what kind of events we can do some collaboration on throughout the Middle East region, as well as possibly host some webinars. And once we have enough volunteers from member companies, the board will look at making the committee official. I myself will be over there in the next 3 months. I will be over there 2 out of the 3 months. So I look to be around and engage with as many members as possible and to do whatever we can to increase our visibility and momentum in the Middle East. Hopefully that answers your question.
And Paul, just to add to that, I mean, the European Committee today, I know it says European, but the intention was for it to cover the whole region. So until we have the mass for a specific committee, we can do a lot through the European Committee.
Thank you, Gayla.
Eles não vão, eu tô achando que eles não vão entrar, viu? Porque eu tô vendo que ninguém tá falando nada aqui da Telcaus. Os caras não responderam, não teve coisa. Quem que tava aqui? Era o Rafael ou era o Renato aqui? Nessa reunião nossa. Esqueci quem que tava convidado.
Well, if we don't have any more questions.
John, sorry, real
Yes.
quick. So I'm looking at the attendees. It looks like Omar has his hand up. So maybe his mic can be taken off mute if he still has a question.
Yes, everyone should be able to unmute.
Omar, you had a question?
Sorry, guys, it was by mistake. I'm very sorry.
Okay, no problem. I do see another question on the Q&A, and that was the white papers and case studies are certainly a benefit to member companies. What are the guidelines for submitting the white papers and case studies? We do have a process. They come in through the marketing committee, and the marketing committee just makes sure that they're not sales pieces and they don't have product information or company's sales information. And if we deem them as being truly white papers and promoting the technology as a whole, then those we use as links that we link back to the member company website, where then people can access the case study or the white paper. Okay, well, with that, let's go ahead and end this meeting. But before I do, I want to do a big thanks to all of the volunteers, all the committees, all the member companies. I also want to thank Ron Velez for his contribution today as a champion of the technology. And Gayla, I want to thank you for your year of contribution as the chair. And we appreciate your membership and look forward to accomplishing great things in 2024. And you all have yourself a great day and a great rest of the week.
Thank you so much. Good luck.